And he's also going to be saving up a battery and deploying that battery to try to defend.
Hello everybody and welcome back to what is F1 2021 on the 2S channel. It is only me today in the com box, also known as Christian, and you guys can also see me as Strix in Discord. We are just about to get our first laps in qualifying here in Imola today, which will be round 2 of this 9 race calendar for this mini season we have for F1 this, well, season I guess you can say it. And yeah, today, last time around I was joined by Milos. Today I'm not joined by anyone, as I already said. And we just have a Harkotarko coming around the final corner now, opening his DRS, getting towards the start-finish line. He gets a 1:15.4, so he's the first person to set a lap time. We're about to see Tomazoli get in a 1:14.4, so that's actually a pretty good lap time from him as well. Let's go have a look at, I think it's one of the Mercedes boys, I think it's Merlin Thunders, who's gone off track for some reason, I don't really know why. But his other teammate, Ioannidis, or George Ioannidis, who invalidates on the final lap there in quali. That's not ideal for him, as he won't be able to set a lap time. He might have to do another hot lap or come into the pits and attempt again with maybe a different setup or something, I'm not too sure. But as this quali laps continue to roll in, I'll keep trying to keep you guys updated. Makender is the first guy on soft tires. He's not done a great job, to be fair, so we'll have to wait and see if it was maybe just a mistake on the lap, or if that is his pace on medium tires. I highly doubt it is, because it's quite a few seconds off the pole position time at the moment. It's just getting a bit more lap times through the board now, as you can see, and yeah, it's hard to keep up with who is where in the series, because we've only had one race. I'm not too familiar with the drivers yet, but they'll come as the season comes along. Last time around we were in Brazil. We had quite an interesting race where there was quite a lot of desync, because we did the race, I think, 3 laps after an update that broke the desync, which is not great. And then, yeah, oh, it's actually, I just realized that Vito set a second fastest lap at 1:14.7, Justin 1:14.8, so these are 3 drivers in the 1:14s. Let's go have a look at, well, I don't know, let's leg lap, let's see what he's up to in the Aston Martin there. But yeah, as I was saying, there's been a desync issues. They said they have patched it now, so hopefully it will work. We'll have to wait and see. But as it, oh, okay, there's someone very slow there on the exit there, but they luckily had ghosting on, so leg left coming towards the start finish line. He has a 1:39.9, so he's definitely had a very slow lap of some sort. I'm not quite sure, maybe he's doing a double lap warm-up of sorts. I'm just going to quickly check the comments to say hi to everyone, and hello everyone who's joining in chat as well. Feel free to comment. Dry quali, light rain all race, says Ocean Chief. She gonna be moist. I look forward to that. I always do like a moist track. It breeds some interesting racing. It can also breed some quite boring racing, but sometimes it's quite interesting. But around Imola anything is needed. I'm sorry I just cut to Futuristic, who was finishing his lap, go into the pits. It's now the time when everyone's going into the pits again after their lap. Let's have a look at one of the other Aston Martin drivers, Bijeliluk. Bijeliluk? Okay, I'll go by Bijeliluk. I can't remember his name. I know he He races under a different name, but I can't remember it, so I am sorry that I completely butchered that name. It's a bit difficult with these Dutch names today. I mean, we have Merlijn Thunders as well. That's a bit easier. Snelle Henky is also Dutch. I know Nico is Dutch, but these all these names to pronounce. Is that Fox that is out on track? It is currently. Yes, it is. Oh, he invalidates a little bit on the chicane. There seems to be a little bit of jumping from the spectator point of view, but I hope it's nothing too crazy, and I hope the quality is good enough for you guys who have come to join me here today to broadcast this beautiful race. It's going to happen around Imola. Obviously, we had Imola last week. Well, actually not last week. It's like 3 days ago. Oh. Wow, that looked a lot sharper stop than it needed to be. Let's go with Meepo. He's on his out lap. No, maybe not. Oh, there you go. Alright. But yeah, we had Imola 2-3 days ago, which was quite an interesting race. We saw a little bit of rain, a little bit of dry. Obviously, the Red Bulls came out with the 1-2, so brilliant showing from them. Maybe we'll see the same today. Not sure. Justin is quick on that Red Bull, but his teammate Quieter is down in P15 at the moment. But I'm pretty sure he can improve his lap time, as a 126 is, well, it's very far off the pace, to say the least. And yeah, I know all these drivers are quite talented, and I do see some familiar faces in here I've raced against before. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see who ends up where by the end of quali. Of course, we still have around 10 minutes to go as Meepo, sorry, I should say, is pulling over to the side as a Mercedes comes through. I believe that is Ionitis coming in with his third lap, so he's just running lap after lap after lap. But I just want to quickly go on board with Meepo, see what he's up to, and see how the track looks from the game. So we go on board now on the long start-finish straight. That can be considered turn 1 coming up right here. Some people don't consider it turn 1, but it is technically a corner. And then we go into what is considered turn 2, 3. Nice little chicane section, very quick. Onto the throttle, very nice and early. Just gliding the car through there. I'm very used to this car, or this track on ACC, as Meepo hits the grass, a bit too much turn in. And he is going way off the track, and into the wall he goes. That's very unfortunate to his quali lap. He luckily still has time to get back and get one more set, but that was a huge off there from Meepo. Hopefully we don't see that happening again in the race, as it will be raining. But let's go to Kyoto, who is also on a hot lap at the moment, navigating his way through the first chicane as well. Now he has that left-hander that we just saw Meepo go off at into the gravel. He does manage to navigate it nicely, gets all the way onto the curb, and a great exit from him. And I just tips the car into the hairpin, second gears. Not really any short shifting going on, as there's a spin in the background. That's the McLaren of Lavi Fasol, I believe. It is indeed, as he got a bit too eager on the throttle of the exit there. But we'll go back to Kyoto, who is now coming into Acqua Minerale, or as some people like to call, we joke about in the ACC League, Agua, a mineral. Anyways, that jokes aside, we will have Kyoto going into the final chicane before the double left-hander that's coming up. Down the hill he goes, nicely navigated. He has used all his deployment already of his battery, so I wonder if they have to somehow manage to save deployment a little bit on that battery usage. That might cost him a little bit of time if he's not doing it properly. And he comes into the final corner now. Great exit from him, as he will open DRS very soon. He's gunning it towards the start-finish line. Will he be able to improve? Yes, he does. 1:14.5. Brilliant lap time for him. It puts him up into provisional P2. But the other driver, oh, I was just going to say Vito, 1:14.3. I was noticing he was very quick, so that is provisional pole for Vito. Let's have a look at what Tomosley is doing. Navigating the chicane very nicely. I didn't see any of his previous sector times, so we'll all be surprised as he comes towards the start-finish straight. We'll have to wait and see what he is able to produce. Navigating the final few corners now into the final corner. Does he get a nice exit? Looks like he does, all the way over the curb. Brilliant stuff. Hopefully he doesn't do what Roy Nassani did in F2 and bin it there. But yeah, he's a very talented driver, so he knows what he's doing. He crosses the line. He does not improve, but he is already set on a second lap time. I think he might have invalidated his lap, or maybe he wasn't fast enough. I didn't quite catch that bit. But these drivers coming into 1:14.3s, 1:14.4, 1:14.5, 1:14.2, 14.6s. So it's quite tight at the top. Iceman in P4 with the 14.6. Brilliant showing from him. Let's see, maybe Justin, what is he able to produce? I know he's a very quick driver. Oh, he's just across the start finish line. So maybe this is his cooldown lap onto the grass a little bit, it seems. But nothing too crazy. Is that Lavi Fasol in the wall again? Yes, it is. So he seems to be struggling a little bit with Imola today, and I've heard that it's quite a difficult track indeed, and I think that's Justin who's crashed out Yes, it is. As he's, I think it looks like he's done what Meepo did and spun in that, I believe it's turn 5. Not the greatest incident to have, but it seems tricky. Okay, but as I was saying, I'm used to racing Imola on ACC. I'm used to watching Imola on ACC. I'm not as used to F1. I've never driven the track in this game, so I don't really know how slippery it is. I know Portimao is a very slippery track. In that sense, some curbs can be quite deadly. So I'm not sure which curbs people can go over yet and which curbs people can't go over. But I'll sort of try and get an idea, and if you guys let me know in chat, that wants to be great. Let's go with Nico, who is basically a resident league racer since the beginning here in 2S, and navigating Imola nicely. He is also one of the more adventurous, well, I wouldn't say adventurous, the more active ACC drivers. So he is now switching into a high downforce single-seater car, which is also great to see, as he is coming through Acqua Minerale now. One of the only corner names I know, so you'll hear me saying it a lot, is he runs quite wide. It doesn't look like he's invalidated, but he definitely has lost a bit of time of running wide there, hopping over the curbs, navigating the chicane. And yeah, I think he validated there as well a little bit on the exit, but maybe not on, doesn't show on the map, so maybe he hasn't. Maybe he's cracked the F1 game somehow, I'm not sure. But anyways, last two final corners now. I love these curbs, by the way, running the Italian flag. It really adds to the Italian aesthetic of Imola. It's great to watch, but yeah, Nico dived straight into the pit, so I'm pretty sure he did invalidate his lap in some way, shape or form. Let's go. Is that Ioannidis out on track? No, that is Meepo. Okay, so I was going to switch to one of the Mercedes, but Meepo will do, as he is on his hot lap. Hopefully he can complete this lap this time around. Runs through Acqua Minerale, gets onto the throttle nice and great exit there actually. I'd say he got nice and far out on the curb into the final chicane. Brilliantly navigated as well. Doesn't use the curbs to jump as much as the other drivers, but that is the safer option. Sometimes quicker, depending how much, how great your exit is out of the corners. There's a Mercedes parked, Aston Martin I should say, parking on the inside there, giving Meepo the space he needs to open his DRS and blast towards the start-finish line. What is he able to produce? He does get a 115 flat, which puts him all the way up to P9. And actually, while that was happening, Tomosley has put it into P1 provisionally on qualifying. I didn't notice that, so that's a brilliant lap there from Tomosley. As Ioannidis also managed to get a lap completed there with a 115.6. And there's actually 4 drivers in that little group there, 115.5 to 115.6. That might be interesting during the race, if you're running so closely. Obviously, this is last season's F1 cars. The new F1 game is coming out soon. I'm pretty sure we're going to be doing a league on that one as well. Well, we have to wait and see how everything works first. And, it's not always reliable with these F1 games if they're league race ready by the time they are released. But definitely stay tuned for that. That's going to be very interesting. I'm very hyped to see these new cars in action and how they will perform on the simulator. I'm sure it will be absolutely brilliant. Larry Fasol, man, has been struggling quite a bit throughout quali. I think he will now be able to put in his lap. He looks motivated, doesn't he? The way he's taking these corners, he looks ready to set a pretty fast lap time here as he navigates through the hairpin, a little bit sideways, gets on the grass. I think that was not invalidated. Oh, actually, something leads me to believe it was, as he's now slowed down. That was a bit unfortunate. He just got a bit too heated on the throttle yet again through the hairpin. And as you saw the car, the result sliding up from beneath him. Justin, what are you able to do? You have completed your first outlap. Let's go and have a look what he is going to do. There's a lot of traffic ahead of McLaren, jumping out of the way. Into turn 1 he goes, keeping it fourth gear. Foot planted as well, as that is the AlphaTauri ahead, also jumping out of the way of Justin. Nice to see people respecting the blue flags here in qualifying, as he jumps over the curves. Maybe a little bit wide there on the gravel. I don't know if that's an invalidation. It doesn't show for some reason on the track map if he's invalidated or not, so I think that is fine. I'm going to assume it's fine with the tools given to me. Yeah, just never mind. I don't think it is fine, as he's now slowed down. He's not going full throttle, he's staying in 6th, so I think he's doing another cooldown lap, or an outlap as you can say, to try and get a final run in, as there's not that much time left. There's a lot of yellow flags in Sector 1. There is a McLaren who's out yet again. Is that Larry Fasol? No, it's not. It is Parcato. It's parked on the side there. I think he's just giving space to drivers, but he's struggling to get going again. And I assume he will get going, yeah, once he is passed by that Ferrari. But it was very interesting tactics to let drivers past. He has 1 minute 30 left of session, so he's definitely going to complete the lap before quali is over. But an interesting tactic, yeah, to say the least. Vito, oh, excuse me, he's invalidated his lap. So he might have one more lap after this one. Tomozoli, see what he is able to produce as we come into Sector 2. Or Aqua Minerale on the exit now. What is he able to do? Let's see on his sector time. If he's up or down on his lap time, it's 2 seconds down. Okay. Not great. So maybe he's also having a double out lap, as we've seen a few of these drivers do, but more out of mistakes rather than, I guess, planned. And we'll have a look at Kyoto, who is 2,000s up on his lap time in Sector 1. So basically identical lap time, but he's not far off of the pole position time. Oh, okay, maybe 3/10 off, but he can definitely do it. I see the way he's driving. He can extract a little bit more lap time out of that Williams. Getting all over the curves in the right way though, on the exit there. He's got a little bit of traffic ahead of him. That might hurt him a little bit, as that is the AlphaTauri, I believe, of Snelle Henke right ahead of him, but also could give him that tow that could help him in his lap time. He's lost all his battery already, so let's see how he is able to navigate the final few corners, as Vito has retired to the pit lane, so he will not be able to get that pole position time, but he is in a provisional P2. Very strong showing from Kyoto coming across the line. Now what's it going to be? Is it going to be fast enough? Yes, he does improve, but it's not enough to jump up any positions, and that is unfortunate from him. Let's see, Tomozoli is up too. He's improving his lap time as well, and I think the only real competition is Icewind, who is right behind him. And let's see, now he gets the chicane nicely. Had a little bit of a scruffy exit, but it looks like it was okay. See what he's able to do into these final two corners. He comes. Let's go on board with him. See how he navigates to the track. And he's coming towards the start-finish line. And now he crosses the line. There you go. And he does improve by 16 hundredths. It's an improvement, but it might have been enough to save him that pole position. Harkarto coming across the line now. He does jump up to P. Oh no, he stays P5. And Icewind is in the pit lane, so it looks like, actually, it could be Tomozoli on pole position here for round 2 around Imola, which is always great to see. Meepo coming across the line very shortly. Let's see, is he able to jump any positions? Maybe up to P7, it looks like. And oh, he improves his lap time by quite some margin, up to P4. Great final showing there from Meepo, jumping 5 positions. And it is great to see. There's an Aston Martin part at the exit there. Is that a... Oh, he doesn't have a front wing, so that is also the Williams behind getting into. So he's had an incident in his last hot lap there while trying to complete his lap. And he... Bayaliluk is... Yeah, he is P11, so he's the first out of the top 10. We're still running the old rules of the top 10 are locked to soft tires, and everybody out the top 10 can have a free tire choice for the race. I'm not sure what the strategy is. If someone wants to tell me, that'd be great. But I'm sure it's got something that involves medium tires. And that's about as given as Will Buxton saying, in order to finish a race, you must finish. Or in order to score points, you must finish in the top 10 sort of thing. One of those obvious quotes. But that was qualifying. Quite interesting. Quite a close field as well. Everybody spread by around a 10th. As you will be able to see, as actually Tomozoli's last lap makes him quite attractive for the race to be the winner. Via Tomozoli, followed closely by Vito. Then we got the 3 Finnish drivers of Kyoto, Meepo and Icewind, or Meepo I should say. Harkotarko in P6, the Dutch driver there. It's P7 by the French driver Justin, that racer. 5/10 off the pole position time. I'd expect him to be a bit farther up. The other Finnish driver of Mäkender in P8, Snelle Henke P9, Nico in P10. So it was basically a Dutch-Finnish top 10 with a Polish driver in there as well. And here you see it. Here's the rain. We were promised light rain throughout the whole race, so might be interesting tire strategy. So we could see them start on wets, go to intermediates, or we could see them start on intermediates and just keep that throughout the whole race. But I'm not quite sure what is the preferred strategy. You'll probably see some of the drivers start on wets. We'll have to wait and see who goes for what. It is a bit of a gamble at the start of the race. You don't really know the conditions. Your setup is also set up. So that is another thing actually. Some of these drivers might have seen it rain, so they have a wet setup in qualifying, and compromise the qualifying for the race. So that also could shake up the field a little bit if the front runners had a quali setup. We'll have to wait and see. It'll be very interesting, as it looks like most drivers have gone for the intermediate tire. Let's have a look. When I say most, I mean every single driver has gone for the intermediate tire. So there is no, there's no surprises there, I guess. Everyone is on Ocean Chief saying inters all the way, and yeah, this could be one of those zero-stop strategy races. I mean, if you get damage, you might consider having a pit stop, but of course, in wet tires, you don't have to change your compound. So, oh, there's a car off track there at the start. That's Kjörter, I believe. Was it not? That is Kjörter. He's went off the track in the starting formation lap. What has happened there? So, he's just waiting on the exit. I hope he doesn't have any damage. If you look at his front wing, he waits until the final driver gets past him. So he's bolted it completely already before the race has begun. It doesn't look like he has any damage, but he just went way off the road there. Kjörter, oh no, what a disaster start to the race before it's even started. That is not what you want to see. But I'm pretty sure that the other drivers in front of him will be smiling. You can see Tomozoli having quite some margin lead over the rest of the field, but he's slowing down a little bit now. And so the gap is quite big throughout the field. We'll have to see. It might cause his tires to be cooled down a bit too much on the start-finish. What am I saying? On the starting grid. There you go. Got the words in the end. I don't know if F1 Game actually calculates that in if you are sitting on the starting grid for too long, if your tires are colder, if they're warmer, if they're up to temperature, if they're not. I don't know if it takes that into account, but in real life it does. But obviously this is not real life, so I don't know how complex this simulator is. That's all I'm saying. I am more of an ACC driver and commentator myself. I do broadcast on Thursdays for ACC. That's for a different league, RCI. And then on Mondays I race in ACC, and on Sundays I broadcast the iRacing series as well. Which, if you're interested in anything I just said, check out the link in the description. Monday ACC is brilliant, and Tuesday F1 is brilliant, and then you see Sunday iRacing. If you're into LMP2s, that is also brilliant racing indeed. Just got confirmed from Agatha in chat that the tire temps are locked when AI takes over, so that is good to know. Thank you very much for that. That is very bizarre. Kjörter, oh, it looks like he jumped. Oh, that is confusing. Anyways, 5 red lights. When's it gonna go green? We are off, and it is go, go, go from all the drivers at the start. Pretty poor start there from Kjörter. Vito gets a brilliant start. Tomozoli gets a little bit sideways. Can Vito maybe send one up the inside into turn 1? It doesn't look like he's quite got the legs on him, but Vito keeping his P2 position. Kjörter had a bit of a sideways. Oh, there's a Aston Martin off in the background there of, I believe that is Leglaf, who has spun. Or actually, it seems like Ioannidis and Mercedes have spun, so there's a bit of an incident there, or of contact in the background. That is very unfortunate indeed. We have no replays in this broadcast, which is a bit unfortunate. I wish we had some replays. But Vito's sliding all over the track, keeping up behind, and we'll have to jump to a bit further back to see what's going up behind. So, most people maintained their positions at the start. Some people lost 1 or 2 places, or some people gained a few places. Oh, huge contact with Kjörter there. Into the wall he goes. I'm trying to catch him. No, I've not caught him. That is unlucky. But there was contact with Meepo. Meepo going up the inside of Kjörter into the fast left-hander there before Aqua Minerale. And that is a sad end to Kjörter's race. Very unfortunate indeed. I've just been told that you don't get damage or lose time if you spin on the outlap. That is good to know. Nico already has a 3-second time penalty. You saw him jumping over the curbs there in the chicane. That is very unfortunate. As a little bit wide goes Icewind. Tarko trying to take up as much opportunities as he can. Gets a little bit of a poor exit though. Let's go on board with him, see he's able to do anything. DRS is not enabled, so these drivers will have to do it like we saw a few days ago on track without DRS, but these are very different cars as well. They struggle following each other much further. But it's again a sim race compared to real life. It's a very, very different story. So yeah, Hakutaku keeping up with Icewind. There's a little bit of a battle behind going on as well with Makender keeping up. We're only 3/10 behind Justin, so these guys will be fighting a little bit. Futuristic also making a move on quieter there in the background. As you can see, I'm going to jump on board that. That looks very interesting. As it's actually side by side a little bit into the hairpin. Futuristic does get in ahead. but will he have the exit to maintain that position? It doesn't really look like it. A little bit of sideways action there. Nico losing a position to Snelle Henke there, and it looks like Quarta has managed to get his way back past Futuristic. I'm going to go on board with Merlion Thunders real quick to have a look at the front row seats of those battles happening up ahead, as Nico is very close to Snelle Henke as well, as you see in the corner exit there. Futuristic maybe lining up a move, had a look about it, or think about it at least, and it decides the better of it to not send it up the inside there. That was a very smart driving indeed. Danny, on the other hand, even closer behind Merlion Thunders. I could see him take up a few positions. He is a very fast driver, and I believe he's won a league in either 2S or SLR before. I think he actually won 2S, I'm not too sure. But anyways, Danny, does he get the exit he needs? It looks like he does get a smoother exit than the other drivers ahead, but it might not be enough without DRS to make an overtake, and I think this might be the story for today. It's going to be very difficult unless someone makes a mistake. For some reason, my timing screen is a little bit messed up at the moment, but it looks like it's fixed itself as Danny goes up the inside there of Futuristic. But something's happened up ahead. Tomozoli has made a mistake of some sort, because Vito is in the lead, and Meipo is right behind Tomozoli, ready to catch him out, as this battle heats up in front as well. Vito leading the Grand Prix here on lap 3. Very interesting stuff indeed. So I believe, looking at the rain as well at the moment, this is going to be an inters all the way to the end. Maybe by the time, maybe the rain will stop, and maybe we can go on soft tires. But I highly doubt it. At the moment, it doesn't look like that is going to happen in any way, shape or form. All the drivers nicely navigating through the chicanes. The yellow flags in the background, that is Futuristic, who has gone off the track somewhere in Aqua Minerale. I need to quickly look at that damage, see how that looks, and oh, maybe not the greatest time to switch. But anyways, Icewind looked like he was making a move on Meepo there, and he just decides to back out of it, as it's very difficult to overtake on this track, and he gets sideways. That's a poor exit there from Icewind. That's going to allow Harko Tarko to get a bit of a run on him here, and he will try and make a move going a little bit up the inside. Somehow he's not made his stick yet, and maybe into turn 1 he'll try to do something under braking. No, so Icewind maintains his position, even though he got a bit sideways on the exit there and got a really poor exit, but he does defend his position quite well, so really driving from him, and we'll just see this battle continue brewing. This race is more about whoever makes his mistakes in front of you, pressuring drivers into mistakes more than is overtaking on pure merit. And oh, saying that, Meepo trying to go around the outside there, as the Mosley didn't quite make it stick, and back down to P3. It's very difficult to overtake in these conditions, especially considering how wet the curbs are, and it does not take a lot for your cars to start pointing in the wrong directions. Ionidas is now into the pit lane. I assume that is to repair some damage. Otherwise, I won't see why he'd do that. Let's go on board with Harko Tarko, as we saw Icewind get a bit of a poor exit, but he still is good enough, and he maintains his position. And that is Snelle Henke, the other AlphaTauri driver, who has binned it in Aqua Minerale there on the exit. So it's quite a slippery curb, and I'm sure these drivers are struggling a bit more than usual in these conditions compared to the dry conditions. So this battle up ahead as Tomozli gets a poor exit yet again, and Icewind looks like he's under pressure again from Harko Tarko, but not really anyone able to capitalize on anything at the moment. The DRS train without the DRS, I guess you can say, and it really is who makes the biggest mistake first that can be capitalized. At the moment, I don't really see anyone making that mistake. Maybe Icewind, he's been a little bit sideways, a bit more than the others through the corners, but he's maintained his position beautifully, and has actually caught up to Meepo ahead, who is dropping a little bit to Tomozli. So Vito and Tomozli are sort of driving away a little bit, and having a great time. Vessel asks who is the commentator. It is me, Chris, also known as Strix. Thank you for asking, I guess. I don't know if you have any criticism, feel free. I'm always looking to improve. As I take a little drink break. And a little bit wide on the exit there was Icewind, so I did say he looked like he was the one most likely to make mistakes, but unlucky Harko Tarko not able to capitalize on this yet again. That is very unfortunate. There's a little bit of fighting behind. I think Merlion Thunders got past Nico, as Nico has been struggling with quite a lot of time penalties at the moment. I just quickly saw the comment from Vessel. Thank you, Vessel. for joining me and yeah, keeping me company in the chat. Vito sets the fastest lap time. Let's try this again. Is anyone able to make an overtake here? It doesn't look like it. Maybe Justin behind Harko Tarko. It looks like he was the closest one in that train, but no. You really have to be side by side basically on the corner exit to be able to do anything here in these conditions. One of these drivers is going to crack soon, or not. It is tier 1, or the top drivers anyways, of F1 here today. And yeah, I'm sure. Oh, actually up the inside, Makender having a little bit of a look in the hairpin. He does back out of it at the end, but that was a little bit dicey there. Would have been nice to see him maybe follow through, but he was just a little bit too far back to make that move stick properly. So Justin just gave him the space he needed, and Justin stays ahead. Makender has to slot in behind and waits a little bit longer to make this overtake for that P6 position. And while this is happening, it looks like Tomozli is driving away from Lipo. Vito is driving away from Tomozli. So the top 3 is slowly but surely settling in a little bit. Although Icewind is very close to Mipa, so this battle is not over yet. That is to say the least. I'm going to quickly cut to see what Leglav and Fox are doing, as they are also running very closely. Leglav, ooh, pushing him through the corner a little bit there. Gets quite a poor exit because of that little shunt. Maybe a little bit of front wing damage as well. I don't believe he does. But yeah, so that's a little bit unfortunate there. But actually, I've just noticed something here. Danny on the back of Bayelelek. I believe that's how I pronounce it. I'm really not sure. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Danny had having a brilliant start to the race as he started in P20 up to P10 already. Is he going to send it up the inside? Looks like he's got the move. Well, they're side by side into turn 1, and it does. Oh, a little bit sideways there from Danny. Trying to go up the inside of Bayelelek. Doesn't make it stick. Has to stay behind. Berlin Thunders now joins this battle as well. And Danny just looked like he's got more pace than the guy in front, but he's just not able to make the move under braking there. So that was unfortunate from him, but actually Bayelelek goes a little deep there on the corner. Well, into the corner, I should say. And Danny right up behind his rear diffuser yet again. I'm sure Danny is just a matter of time before he finds a way past these drivers and maybe catches up to the train for that P3 position. Talking of which, Harko Tarko right up behind Icewind, just 1/10 in it now. Is going to do anything into the chicane? Does not look like it. So he's just being very patient behind Icewind at the moment and just stays there for now. This train continuing doing what they do best and just run behind each other and without causing any issues. And oh, that's great and all, but I'd like to see someone send it very soon. Someone who is sending it though. Danny pushing Bayelelek through the corners basically. Is he going to get the exit he needs? Let's go on board. Oh, he does get. Oh, sorry. He does get a brilliant exit here, but he just doesn't seem to have the top speed for some reason. Maybe he missed a gear shift or something, but he did get quite a big gap there to Bayelelek for some reason on the straight. I'm not quite sure what happened there. Nico is continuously falling back, and maybe he's made a mistake somewhere. He's not having a great day. He does already have 6 seconds to his name, but Danny. Good exit there in turn 3. Is he going to try something around the outside? Looks like he sort of tried it, but it does compromise his exit a little bit. Merline Thunder is right behind him. Maybe able to capitalize on this little mistake from Danny, but it doesn't look like he's just quite close enough to do anything yet. And yeah, Kurtzer is decent a little bit, but it doesn't seem like to be too big of an issue. And I believe Nico has just spun it in the hairpin he has, so that's unfortunate. For Nico, he's basically crabbing, trying to get the car going again. That is not what you like to see. Nico's day going from bad to worse. Not great to see. Anyways, let's jump back to this battle, see if it has changed in any way, shape or form. And let's see, Makender very close to the back of Justin's diffuser. But again, these guys, as I said before, a DRS train without DRS. Not really anything else to say. That all of them get a brilliant exit. Maybe Makender, if he is brave enough, we'll have to see it. No, he's not close enough to do anything. I don't think. So, yeah, he just has to slot in behind, and all these drivers are doing a great job to keep up with Meepo. The Meepo train happening right now for P4. Great little battle. Another battle. Danny going around the outside there of Bayelelek into turn 1. Well, not really around the outside. Well, yeah, kind of, I guess. And makes the move stick, and up to P9 he goes. He's now going to put his head down and try and catch up to the train ahead. He definitely has the pace. Don't count Danny out just yet. If there's no pit stops in this race, Danny could very much get a brilliant position here at the end of the day. But that's also Merlin Thunders right behind Bayelele, trying his best to get Pi and also try and catch up to the guys ahead. Whew. Just gonna quickly take a little breather, drink some water, replenish my vocal cords, and should be right back with you. Alright. Let me know if you're sipping on anything juicy in the chat. Personally, I'm just on good old water at the moment, but I was thinking about buying some smoothie or iced tea or something like that along those lines for this broadcast today, but I just didn't manage to get out. I was too busy building a network for my uni studies, but hey ho. Anyways, Tomozli seems to be running a bit faster and catching up to Vito a little bit as well, as Kyoto is desynced as mentioned in chat. However, Meepo has picked up a 3-second time penalty. That could be very costly come the end of the race, and I don't know how many warnings the other drivers are on yet, but I'm going to keep that a bit of a surprise to try and see who ends up where in the final. But looks like Justin might be looking to do something there on the inside of Icewind, not quite getting it done, but Icewind goes a bit deep and Justin makes up the position, and so does Makendo. So Icewind loses 2 positions by going deep, and that's what I was saying, if you make one mistake you can lose a few positions here. So Justin up to P6, Makendo up to P7, Icewind down to P8. So that's unfortunate there from Icewind. Just a little mistake is all it took, and he loses out quite some margin there. So Justin lined that up perfectly, doing the undercut maneuver there on Icewind, who went a bit deep into the corner and then managed to get it done. Vito has lost a position to Tomozli. Oh, Vito off the track, and Tomozli gaining a 3-second time penalty. So does Vito. It's all popping off right now. So these two changing lead yet again. I wonder if Vito made a mistake somewhere. Meepo has made a mistake. Oh, there's carnage everywhere. Harkotako off the track, losing all of the positions in this train. Meepo losing a few positions as well. Justin up to P3. The two Alfa Romeos, P4, P5 respectively. And wow, a lot of action happened there. I didn't quite catch what happened, but I think Meepo and Harkotako had a contact of some sort, as we saw Meepo drop down a few positions, and also Harkotako losing it on the grass as well. I've been told Vito almost doing the Leclerc cosplay. Yes, indeed. And I got fooled a bit there by the desync. I thought Tomozli was that close to Kyoto, but unfortunately he's in peak. Well, not unfortunately for Kyoto, he is not. Anyways, let's go have a look. It looks like Fox has retired on the track actually at the start finish. Well, that might actually have been in the pit lane, as he has retired there, and he's left the session in the pit lane as well. There's yellow flags happening somewhere in sector 2. I don't know what for exactly. Actually, there's a Red Bull that has crashed out, so that is Quieter that's crashed out there in that sector, and you saw all the drivers going through, which is why I was a bit confused. Let me just quickly check. I should try some Juice de Gamon. I don't know what that is. If you could enlighten me, Ocean Chief, that'd be great. I'd love to try it. It sounds great. Yeah, just let me know what it is. I'll have to see if I can try to find it somewhere. I don't know if they sell it in the Netherlands. They might do. I'm not sure. But yeah, I just plain water tonight. Sometimes I also have some tea with these broadcasts, as I used to back when I was streaming Tier 3. How is my PSV shirt doing? It's doing great. My rugby team, I think, some of us are going to meet up tomorrow. We're not going to go to rugby training because that's been cancelled because of King's Day, of course, tomorrow in Netherlands. But some of us want to hang out and play some spike ball. So I think I'm going to wear it to that spike ball session. And yeah, it's a great team. I highly recommend supporting it. It is my local team, a brilliant team. So yeah, I'll wear that tomorrow probably. If we go play some spike ball, that'll be good fun. And it is the away shirt that Dragon is referring to. It's a nice navy wavy sort of shirt, and it looks really good. I also have the home shirt, but it's a bit of a story that I have Van Ginkel on the back there because of a shipping error, but that's fine. Gotta support your local football team at PSV. It just happens to be a brilliant club. Anyways, let's have a look at Makender and Justin battle. It seems like these two have been running very close this whole race, and we're not even halfway through it yet. But Makender has been applying pressure to Justin. Justin not cracking under any pressure either. So you can see these two drivers continuously running like this throughout the whole race even. And that'll be interesting to watch. Maybe if Justin cracks, or maybe Makender does a mistake putting the pressure on Justin and will lose a few positions as well. Behind him though, Harkotarko and Icewind are having their little battle of their own, but they sort of spread out a little bit. Meepo also 1.6 seconds behind this battle now, and I was mentioning earlier Danny, he was going to catch up. Has just set the fastest lap of the race as he is catching up to this battle, but Harkotarko 3/10 behind Icewind now. Ooh, gets a brilliant exit here. Is he gonna do anything into the next corner? No, he's not close enough to make a move or something. We've seen Icewind lose a few positions here. It doesn't look like it again, as Harkotarko gets very sideways there on the action, almost loses his car, but does manage to keep it on the extremely moist road, as so described by Ocean Chief. Okay, ham water. That does not. Okay, that does not sound delicious. I know gammon or jambon or whatever. That I knew there was ham of some sort, but I thought it might be a word for something else. Nope. Turns out it's just ham juice. That does not sound very appealing, to be honest. Although there is that. It's like a soda called Rivella. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, which is made on the excess from cheese, I believe, or something along those lines. That is also a very interesting drink, and I kind of think it tastes similar. If you guys know what Rivella is, but yeah, keep posting your drinks in chat or anything interesting I should try. Harkotarko, great exit here on Icewind. He looks like he might be close enough to try and make a move, going around the outside of the track there and he gets his move done before he gets into turn 1. So Icewind losing a position there to Harkotarko as Harkotarko gets his head down and finally overtakes Icewind on track after being stuck behind him for 5 laps or so. And yeah, brilliant overtake there by Harkotarko, brilliant exit, that's all you need. And he got the move done. Great stuff from him. Let's go back to Mackinder, who's basically pushing Justin through the hairpin there. Oh, he must be kind of frustrated behind Justin, as he probably feels like he has more pace and could catch up to Vito ahead and maybe close that 3-second gap of penalties that Vito has. But I just realized Mackinder also had the 3-second penalty, so they cancel out a little bit. Have I ever tried Zure Matten? I can't say I have. I don't think I've seen it anywhere. If you could just let me know. Can you buy it in Albert Heijn? Because that's usually where I go shopping, just because it's closest. Just let me know what it is. Sounds interesting. Yeah. Okay, I can buy it there. And which section would I... Well, I guess it would be in the drinks section, but I haven't seen it before. Kyrta being goated in P1. Kyrta's so good, he could be P17, which is the last place, and P1 at the same time sometimes, you know? That takes a special kind of skill to pull off. And there you go, as I said, as he set the fastest lap into P1, there might be some decent issue here. Don't know what's going on. We'll have to wait and see at the end of the race. For Vito, has made his move past Tomozoli back into P1. And while that was happening, Icewind lost out to Meepo there in the background, so I just lost 2 on-track actions there for you guys. I'm very sorry. It's quite hard to keep up with few battles at a time. But Vito, just out of nowhere, caught up, and I think Tomozoli has made a mistake somewhere, and now he is back into P1. This battle is not over yet, and I believe Icewind has made a mistake somewhere, as he was, I'd say, a second ahead of Meepo, and then Meepo suddenly overtakes him. So definitely a mistake from Icewind. Oh, it's not a drink, it's a food. Zure Matten. Okay. Well, that's maybe why I've never seen it in a drink form. That would make sense. Could you explain what it is? It sounds quite good. It sounds like one of those Dutch meals I've yet to try here. I may need to stick to fucking Del Broodje and stroopwafels. That is my go-to thing here. It's brilliant stuff. As Danny makes his way past Icewind as well, but didn't look very difficult for Danny. So Icewind just sort of pulled over to the side, and Danny now continues his charge to potentially get a final podium position. He's not far off it, you know. He's only about 4 seconds, and with the time penalties ahead of him, it could be quite easy. And I've just been told to look at Discord after the race to see what that is. The Zure Matten, if that's how you pronounce it. Sounds good. It must be quite nice if you send a picture on Discord. Or is it what you're eating right now, potentially? Since you send a picture? I'll have to see. I'll definitely check Discord after the race, that's for sure. Let's quickly have a look. Let's yeah, let's have a... I think this is the battles are going on right now. Well, not really. I think Danny does have more pace, but Icewind's keeping with him, to be fair. And Danny here looks like he's making a few mistakes, or maybe losing a bit of the tire grip he might have had earlier on. But he does now. Okay, he is gaining a little bit on Meepo now. So I do think Danny will catch up eventually. Let's go back to this battle here with Makender and Justin going through Aqua Minerale right now. He said soup is both food and a drink. That can be quite controversial indeed, Ocean Chief. I do wonder, is it? Well, to be fair, if you think about it, all food, all drink is food as well, right? If you really get down to the basics of it, it's nutrition. Well, no, actually I wouldn't say that. But I'd say a soup is a food because you eat it with cutlery. However, you do not eat. However, you do not drink drinks with cutlery. If that makes sense. That would be my argument. You have a drink out of a glass. You don't really have soup out of a glass unless you have soup in a cup, but you still eat it with a spoon, right? And quite often soup has food items in them, such as, I don't know, sausages, vegetables, pasta, etc. So I'd say it depends on what soup, but I'd say soup is a food. Owen saying, my brain, bro. Well, you can also drink a soup, yes, but would you drink a soup? That is the question. Sausage could be a food or a toy. Yeah, true. I mean, to be fair, all food can be a toy if you want it to be, as Makender almost hits the back of Justin in Aqua Minerale. That looked very close to be an incident right there. I'm going to cut to Tomozli and Vito, as Tomozli's caught back up to Vito a little bit now, and these two will continue their fight for P1 in this race here at Imola. And you can always drink soup, that is true. The final part of soup you can't drink. It's like when you have cereal and it's leftover milk, you also drink that milk. But then again, you have milk for cereal. Is the milk in cereal considered a food, or is it still considered a drink even though you're having it with cereal? That is another thing to discuss. Let's go back to this battle with Makender and Justin, and Harkotarko is actually joining in on them now. So Harkotarko, we've seen, has quite a lot of pace. He's a bit unfortunate with the contact earlier on with Meepo, but he's catching back up to this little train here. Excuse me. Just got a little bit of a tickle in my throat all of a sudden. There you go. Okay. Alright, pot, noodle, eat the soup, drink the juice. Okay. I'm gonna try and understand. Eat the noodles, drink the juice, drink the soup. That is, yeah, sure, that is one way to do it. Actually, with pot noodles, you sort of have it all together. I mean, I guess, unless you have it with chopsticks, then yeah, you're right. But then there's more flavoring. I don't know, man. My argument is, if you eat it with cutlery, it's a food. If you don't eat it with cutlery, it's a drink. Anyways, it looks like Kyoto has dropped down to P3. So was he ding-synced this whole time, actually? Yeah, he's dropping down quite a lot, so he might have been desynced this whole time. It looks like that's what's happened, because he is down to P9 now. He's lost out somewhere, or no, he's back up to P. There's a desync issue going on for sure with Kyoto. I'm not gonna know where he finishes at the end of the race, so I do apologize for that. But there's not much we can do with that. We'll have a report from the drivers if they're having any desync issues as well after the race, as there was quite a few in Brazil. They say they have fixed it with the patch, but it might not be bulletproof just yet. And it looks like, for my side at least, it is unfortunately Kyoto who is receiving the desync issues. He could also be just desync for me and not everyone else. That is also a possibility, as this battle for P1 continues with Tomozli hunting down Vito, but Vito keeping calm and collected in that seat of the Alpine and maintaining his position for now. Icewind picks up a 3-second penalty. That's not going to help his chances to get where he wants to today, as Nico picks up another 3 seconds. He's really having a hard day today in the office. I've just been blaming casters' fault for desync. It's always the casters' fault. Always blame the casters or the broadcasters or commentators, however you want to say it. As Harkotarko goes quite far off track there, and he also picks up a 3-second time penalty, so they're all balancing each other out now. But that looked like it could have been quite a disappointing end there for Harkotarko's race. He got quite wide on the exit there, and it's quite easy, especially in the rain, to get the rear end to overtake your front of the car. And luckily it didn't happen there for Harko, so he can continue hunting down Makender as he is doing now. Is he going to send it up the inside? Maybe. He has a look into turn 1, or sorry, turn 2 I should say, but Makender actually goes a little bit deep, and Harko right up behind him. Does he get the exit he needs? It doesn't look like it just yet, but Makender is defending very hard now, allowing Justin a little bit of a gap of fresh air, or well, less pressure should I say, as Makender picks up another 3-second time penalty here, and that is not great for his race, as he picks that up trying to defend from Harko, so maybe that's all they need to do. Apply so much pressure to the guy in front, they make small mistakes and pick up time penalties, and then you get them at the end of the race when everyone crosses over the line. Some good action happening today in Imola. It's especially this battle, they have been glued together since the start of the race, and we're 20 laps in now. Quite a good race so far, I'd say. A little bit of action here and there. The race is being cancelled a little bit by the rain, as there is no DRS. I'm sure if there was DRS in these conditions, there would be sliding all over the place. We have a Bottas-Russell incident we saw last year. But if it was dry conditions and it was running like this, we would have a brilliant battle on our hands as well. So let's see, yeah, Harko is a little bit behind on Snelle Henke's stream. Kyrta is in 3rd. Well, I'm going to cut to Kyrta now. On track, he is going... Oh, Icewind retires, and that is in the pit lane, actually. So I wonder if he needed to go or something, but he's retired in the pit lane. That is an unfortunate end to Icewind's race. But to me, Kyrta is rounding the final corners now. And, well, in P3, if he was P3, he would be behind Tomosley, who is, well, going up into the fast left-hander before Aqua Mineral. I need to get these track names down. I need a track map somewhere. It's not easy trying to do everything on your own, but that's fine. Kyrta with a massive gap, I've been told. Yeah, I don't know what's happening with Kyrta. We're just going to have to discount that result we see today. He seems to be 3rd on quite a lot of streams. So that is unfortunate that he's desynced for me, but hopefully it's just for me and not anyone else on track, as actually Nico is having a nice little battle with Futuristic here as well. A little bit of a change of scenery from the top of the grid, as Futuristic goes a bit wide, allowing Nico to go up the inside into the hairpin. Nico taking all the curb he can to help rotate his car. Futuristic does get a better exit though, so Nico will have to swap back in behind Futuristic. And that is unfortunate for him, as Makender has gone into the pit lane. Is this to change tires? Is this to repair damage? I'm not sure. It could be for a tire change. It does look like it's for a tire change. So that is an interesting strat. Maybe he feels like those tires are not worth driving on anymore. But he does lose about 25 seconds doing this. So if you think it's worth 25 seconds with 10 laps to go to change tires, by all means go ahead. But I don't think that's the right call, as he does not need to pit to change tires, but he has done so anyways. Yeah, I do really apologize for the desync happening. Nothing I can do about it. I hope, again, it's just for me and none of the drivers, and then we'll have the league admin grab the race results at the end anyways, as actually Vito is the league admin. Alongside, is he alongside someone? I can't remember. I do know Vito is one of the admins, if not the admin. And he's leading the race right now, so that works out brilliant, is his mind. Danny picks up the 3-second time penalty, and so did someone else. I didn't quite catch as they picked it up basically at the same time. But Danny is now closing up on the heels of Meepo as well, so he is ever so slightly getting closer to that P4 position. Now with that 3-second time penalty, unless Justin gets one. Podium position not looking... Well, I've been told that with desync, Kyrta is in P3 at the moment, so... I'm just going to say battle for P4. Let's just go with that. Admin leading the race, that is a bit suspect. Maybe he is the one causing a lot of desync issues or something. Maybe he's purposely DDoSing the server, you know? It's a conspiracy. I think we should look into it. That's for sure. Just going to take a little breather for a second. Have a look at any battles that might be occurring. But Vito has been doing a brilliant job so far. Tomosley seems to be losing a little bit of pace to him now. So Vito branching out a little bit further. Maybe Tomosley's tires have worn off harder than Vito's. Actually, Tomosley's dropping quite a bit. It seems he's dropped 2-3 tenths since we've gone on and had a look at, or since I started commentating, but then he's gained it all back again. So it's very back and forth between these drivers. So it's hard to tell who's actually on faster pace. Yeah, now it's down to just under a second, but he goes really deep there and wide, so that's costing a little bit of time. So it's a yellow flag in sector 1. That looks like to be Popo who's in the wall or spun it somehow. I don't know how that's happening. He reverses across the track. Will he rejoin in a safe manner? It looks like he will wait for the 2 drivers behind him to get past, and then he does rejoin in a safe manner. That's unfortunate for his race, as he was in P10, so he would have picked up some points somewhere. And that is, yeah, it's never nice to see a driver spin out like that. Might have been contact, might have been by himself. In the wet, it's hard to tell. I thought Danny was closer to Meepo. Turns out he's still 7 tenths behind Meepo. Danny running a solid race though, starting P20 up to P7. It's very well done, but I didn't expect less from Danny, as he skipped out on qualifying, and he is a very talented driver we've seen before. Fun fact about Danny, he is running the officially sponsored 2S car in real life in Rallycross. So that is, if you are interested in that. So he has official 2S stickers on his real life Rallycross car, which I believe is a Peugeot 206. But while that happens, McKender on fresher tires makes his way past leg left, easily done, and up to P9 he goes. So yeah, shout out to Danny for running 2S stickers on his Rallycross car, or Peugeot 206, and he does sometimes Rallycross in the weekends. He'll talk about it in general chat, and if you're interested in it, send him a DM, ask him how it is. Sometimes he posts some videos. We've seen him spin before in Rallycross, and hopefully he doesn't replicate that here today. So yeah, Danny, one of the real life racing drivers, you can say here today. Even though it's sort of like a hobby Rallycrossing, it's still very cool from him, and I'm sure it has helped with his wet weather driving in sim racing potentially, as Rallycross is, some of you may know, half on tarmac, half on gravel. That is, it's like a mix of those two put into a little circuit, and they run small stints of heat. So it's a push for 6 minutes, and then they stop the race. Well, they cross the finish line, and then they have another heat, and they continue like that throughout the weekend. So they drive quite often, but it's in very short sprints. It's quite an entertaining series to watch, especially a few years ago with FIA World Rallycross. It was very entertaining back when Petter Solberg and Matthias Ekstrom were racing. They had brilliant battles all over, and it was very fun to watch indeed. But then manufacturers started pulling out of the series, and it's sort of a dead series now, but it was very, very entertaining back then. I actually saw it live once in Hockenheim when I was there for DTM. So that was very enjoyable as well, as they made a makeshift rallycross track right in the final sector of Hockenheim. Very fun to watch indeed. I recommend looking at the highlights on YouTube if you're interested in that stuff. Harko Tarko on the right up behind Justin. And now that McKender is not there anymore, so McKender goes into pits. Justin says, oh, finally, no one behind me. Harko Tarko a lap later says, nope, I'm right here, showing himself in Justin's mirrors to overtake for P3 or P4. We're unsure because of that desync. But we'll just go with P3 for now, because that is what we see on the screen. And they both get quite a good exit. Looks like Harko Tarko got a bit of a worse exit than Justin actually, so he's not going to be able to make the move just this time around. I say all these pens, let's have a look at it for a second. So both Vito and Tomosley have 6 seconds. Harko Tarko also has 6 seconds. And then the 3 drivers behind him, Meepo, Danny, Merlin, Thunders, 3 seconds. McKender on 9 seconds, that's not great. Leglaf on 6, Baye Lelek on 6, Futuristic on 6, Nico on 18 seconds. Live Visol on 3, Stanley has no penalties, and Popo on 6 seconds as well. So Justin, depending where he finishes compared to the drivers ahead, he could very much be in for a maybe even a top 2 finish. As Tomaso is losing quite a lot of time on Vito, it looks like Justin's also gaining a little bit on him as well. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see at the end of the race. Justin still has time to pick up penalties, and so did 2 drivers ahead of him. We see Harko Tarko actually goes quite deep there in that corner. It might have been another warning for him. And he's fallen a little bit behind now. Well, sorry, excuse me about that. Fallen a little bit behind Justin right now, but he's catching up again. And so is Danny. Danny is also catching up on Meepo. So I'm sure Danny, well, Meepo is a quick driver, but I'm sure Danny will eventually make his way past, although he does only have 5 laps left to do it. So it's going to be soon rather than later. Let's have a look at this battle between Nico and Futuristic. As Nico's basically been glued to the rear of that AlphaTauri this whole race as well, after he dropped back, I'd say. Just quickly, a bit more refreshments. There's a yellow flag in Sector 1, but I don't really see what for at the moment. It could be Kyoto causing some sort of desync issues. I'm not quite sure what it is, but Nico is staying right on the back of Futuristic here. Will he be able to make a move coming into this down the start finish race? He's basically, again, pushing him through the corners, but Futuristic got a better exit here. So he's, and also he's covering the inside line a little bit interesting line through there. Nico a little bit deep into the corner, hits the back of Futuristic, just a slight love tap though. And they both survive, nothing but a racing incident there, I'd say. And Futuristic gets a good exit here. It looks like they're trying to run on the racing line, so not cooling off the tires. So that indicates that the tires are still in good condition for now. But yeah, Nico's really hard stuck behind Futuristic at the moment. Not much you can do. Let's go to Harko Tarko, who gets a poor exit there. And Justin is driving away down the start-finish straight because of that exit. So Harko Tarko is stuck behind the Red Bull driver yet again for, I assume, another lap. This race is coming to a finish quite quickly. We only have just under 4 laps left to go. So anything can happen with these drivers, but it is sort of settling into, I think these are going to be the finishing positions unless some crazy stuff happens or someone gets a time penalty that's going to cost him quite a bit. If Harko Tarko gets more penalties, it's going to cost him a decent amount because the drivers behind him have 3 seconds, whereas he has 6. So ideally he'd want to get past Justin and build a 3-second gap to the drivers behind, but he is running out of time, he is running out of space, and he is running out of traction trying to do that. As while I'm saying that, Snelle Henke picks up a time penalty as well. Kurta might not have a time penalty, he might. Oh, Harko Tarko picks up another time penalty, just as I was saying, he needs to avoid that. Let's have a look at the penalties now, as he has 9 seconds. That didn't cost him all the way down to Merlin Thunders there. Not great to his race in any way, shape or form. Very unfortunate for Harko Tarko, but it's still satisfying to get the overtake done on track, and he's going to try everything he can to get that done. Kyoto drops behind Futuristic and Nico again. This could be desync, this could also not be desync, but there he is on screen. I don't know what's up with it. People are saying he's in different positions on other people's streams than he is on mine. I don't know. Daniel on the outside of Meepo. Is he going to make a mistake? It looks like he's just about done at Meepo trying while he's sticking around the outside. Goes on the grass a little bit and around he spins. Meepo, is that Meepo in the wall? It looks like he is. He's retired from session. His wheel has broken off. That would bring out the safety car, but it is 3 laps to the end of the race, so it's not going to bring out the safety car. Meepo's race is over and done with as he gets on the grass and spins his car around while trying to get a battle with Danny. Danny gets the move done. It was all fair and square. I don't believe there was any contact, but that is a huge mistake that's cost Meepo quite some amount of points there. He was in P6, would have been P6 because of Harko Tarko's penalties at the end of the race. So that is a very unfortunate ending to Meepo's session right there. 3 laps from the end of the race. Almost a Charlie Leclerc type beat. Losing it so close to the end of the race and losing so many positions. Oh, that is very unfortunate for Meepo there. It is a sad way to see a driver go at the end. F is for Finn. I guess I could agree with you on that one, and Justin gets very sideways on the exit there. Could this be Harko Tarko's chance? I don't think he's close enough to capitalize, but he does have a better run into turn 1. Is he going to send it? No, I don't think he is. The speed difference is not enough to make anything happen, so Justin stays safe for now. It's yellow flag in turn 3. Is that Nico that spun it around? It's all happening here. Is Nico? Oh, just as I cut him, he's around on the curb. Doesn't beat his car, but he is trying his best to get his car back out on track. Spins it around properly. It gets his car moving again, but oh, that is a huge spin. That's going to cost Nico a few positions as well. And he could have been a top 10 finish, potentially with time penalties, but that is definitely been thrown away now. Poor Nico. Now his blue flags behind him as well of Justin and Harko Tarko. So we cut to that right at the right moment. So the falling Finn, or the failing Finn, and then Nico half a lap later completely spins it. It's all happening now. Maybe these tires have reached their peak of wet weather racing as Danny picks up another 3-second time penalty. That might help Harko Tarko's case a little bit, and especially will help Justin's in case Danny gets past Justin. But I think it looks like Danny is set to a P5 finish as he stays within 3 seconds of Harko Tarko. Harko Tarko trying up the inside of Justin into the second final corner. And he doesn't make the move stick yet. They're still going side by side. Who is going to get the better exit? It looks like Justin gets a better exit. Harko Tarko, all that fighting, all that time he's lost, he has to redo it all again as he gets sideways on the exit. Daring move though, I'd say. And it was great battling, but Justin gets out ahead again, keeping it calm and collected in that cockpit. Brilliant racing from the two drivers, giving each other enough space and respect to survive battling like that in the rain. Props to both of them, and great entertainment for our end as well. It's all happening now in the final few stages of the race. It's brilliant to watch. Vito crosses the line, and sorry, Vito does not cross the line. That is another car. I am very sorry. Vito, he's in sector 2 at the moment. What am I saying? Oh well. You see Nico in the background there, getting out of the way of Danny. Danny is actually catching up on this battle ahead. So that is going to not help Harko Tarko's case in staying 3 seconds ahead. He's now 1.5 seconds ahead, which is definitely not enough to eliminate that penalty. Is that? I don't know. That's Kürzer on the track. It's a decent car for sure. It could have been Kürzer, but I am very unsure. I don't know what's happening. There was a little bit of contact there with Harko Tarko. Oh, it's Kürzer's off the track into the wall. Again, somehow the car survives, and it says he's P6 now. He could very much be P6. If someone can confirm that from one of the other streams, that is not great in any way, shape or form. But here we go, continuing. Harko Tarko trying. He has got one last lap to do it. As Vito and Tomosi already on their final laps. Will he make it stick with Justin, or will Justin keep his head cool and maintain the position? As in the position in one of the prime overtaking spots for Harko Tarko, but Harko Tarko is not going to give up just yet. And I'm pretty sure we'll see something spicy at the very end. Maybe a last lap desperate lunge that could just work out in Harko Tarko's favor. But why would he do that? He's got more time penalties. He's not going to do anything but cost him time. Danny is now in a second as well. But that being said, it is very satisfying to do the overtakes on track, no matter what time penalty you have. So maybe that's just what he's thinking as well. Everyone at the end of the day is a racer at heart. Any battles you can get you will take them. But it does look like Justin is just far enough ahead to get this done. But while that's happening, I'm going to cut to Vito, the man, the myth, the legend from Poland, rounding the final corner now. He crosses the start-finish line very soon, and he will be the winner of the 2S race here in Imola. Brilliant race from him as him and Tomosley battled it out for those top 2 positions. Great racing between those drivers. And it looks like Harko Tarko's dropped back for some reason. What's happened to Harko Tarko? He's had a mistake in the chicane somewhere. He's gone into the wall, I believe. Or at least spun it. Yeah, he has front wing damage. So he's lost it at the very end of the race. That is heartbreak for Harko Tarko. He would have lost it on time penalties to Danny, but now he loses it on time penalty. Well, on merit to Merline and Danny. And he crosses the line as well. I don't think he'll lose the position, but that's lost him 2 positions there at the end. There we have it. McKendor coming across the line in P8. So he was the only driver to go into the pits today for tires without repairing the car, and it just has not worked out for him. It was not the strategy to do. And you can see how close Justin is actually for a P2 position there on Tomosley. And it looks like Kyoto came home in P4 in the end, with Danny in P5. Malern Danders in P6. Harko Tarko in P7, losing it all at the final chicane. Makender in P8, Leglaf P9, and Bayelilek in P10. Outside the points, we have Futuristic and Lavi Fasol. I believe they're still racing, and they are indeed coming across the final few corners. Now, will it be Lavi Fasol? Will it be Futuristic across the line? They're going to have a little bit of a drag race. Futuristic is weaving, and he, stays ahead. So that was the Imola race of today. That was very interesting. The Italian Grand Prix, or San Marino, whichever you prefer. Says the driver of the day is Danny, but I'm not too sure. I sort of expect, well, P20 to where he finished is very impressive. I will say so myself. So I guess I could give Danny the driver of the day, to say the least. And brilliant result from Vito. I'm sure he'll be very happy with that result. The Polish driver living here in the Netherlands, and he is on the top step of the podium. In P2 we have Tomosley, and P3 we have Justin All three very fast drivers and brilliant racing from all of them today. Congratulations to these drivers, and they well-deserved podiums. So here we have the final standings, and we have, Vito in P1, Tomasley P2, Justin P3, as just seen, the Finnish driver Kyoto P4, Danny P5, Merlin Thunders P6, followed by Harkotarko in P7, McKender in P8, Legloff P9, and Bealeluk in P10. There you go. I'm going to quickly go to the race director, look at the incidents, so if anyone has to look, they can quickly go to the stream, use this in the reports if they need to, as proof of maybe any track warnings or such. And then we can also sort of see, have an idea of how many people have been doing naughty things. Brilliant race. That was a brilliant race, I'd say. Brilliant race, classic from Imola. Job well done, everyone. Great result from Vito, Tomasley, and Justin, and I think everyone could be very happy with that one. Milos has been here the whole time, I've just realized.
No, I just joined now, actually. I was gonna join earlier to commentate, but I actually was doing some fun other stuff, unfortunately.
Well, you joined just at the right time then, just to round up the stream.
I would have loved to accompany you, my love, but I unfortunately couldn't.
It's a very unfortunate ending indeed. And talking about endings, I think with Milos here as well, I'm going to go to the interview screen. It doesn't look like we're going to have any interviews today. I don't see anyone in chat who's willing to do any interviews. So I think I'm just going to leave it at that. But yeah, brilliant race from Vito. I think that's his first win, at least this season, definitely this season. But I don't know, if is that his first win in 2S for F1? Do you know that, Milos?
Well, we had Brazil.
Did he win in Brazil?
Oh, sorry. I thought you asked if this was the first race in F1. I was, that was a weird question. No, I don't know. I don't believe he won Brazil. He actually DNF'd, and I called him a Heineken bottler.
Yeah, I believe he did have a Heineken bottler moment in that race. So, yeah, congratulations to Vito and to Mosley and Justin for rounding out the final steps of the podium. And thank you everyone who's joined me today in chat. It's been fun. We've had some good conversation about soup and what is food, what is not food.
Good soup.
Yeah, good soup indeed. We were basically saying, is soup a drink or food, or is it both? So that's, I'm going to leave that thought with you guys who are watching. But anyways, thank you very much for joining me. If you're interested in watching ACC, we race every Monday at, I believe, 8 o'clock CEST in the evening. Every Tuesday, like today, we have F1. And then every Sunday, we have our iRacing series. So feel free to join for those series as well. If you're interested in joining the Discord, the link will be in the description. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching, and goodbye.